There we go. All right, because Norman's up there, he can give us a sound check. So after I found that chipmunk hole and covered the hole up, I have not had, good evening, Norman and Ronald and Christina. I've not had
Yes,
any
good evening,
more.
everybody.
I've not had any more chipmunk. I have not had any more flooding. We haven't had hard rains since then. We had a light rain, so it hasn't truly been tested. But I have my floor back down. I have in that back room where I don't have carpeting. What I have is that foam stuff that kind of locks together
Hmm.
that you can use like a gym floor. So I've made that back room that's unfinished in our basement more like a gym. It's got a Bowflex and a treadmill and
Right,
a
right,
couple
right.
other things. And that foam floor makes it nice. You can get on there and do planks and do other things. But of course, whenever it rained, water got in there. Those things were almost floating, so I had to pull them all
Right.
up. And what's funny is when you pull them all up. Hey, Jan, when you pull them all up, let's see. Did you read about the woman that screamed and has
I
turned the
did not
hose
hear
on
about that.
some photographers taking pictures in public park that's near her house? It's in Florida. No, I had not. So Norman says loud and clear on that. Oh, and speaking of Jan, so we all know about this. I can't take it off.
Yes.
Can't take it off the desk yet because I haven't started recording. It's a little early, but Jan has made another one for me,
Oh boy.
a blue one. That's because twice I have run out of recording space during the show.
Really?
Once with you, I believe,
Uh,
and once with AD. So I've already checked the recording space on both
so
systems.
that's when you have to review beforehand.
I double recorded. What should be happening is once we finish the show, I move it over to storage to my server. The server will then duplicate it on another system, and then I can delete it off of here. If I forget to delete it off of here, it becomes a problem after like the third show. So I've already done this, so I can take that off. Plus, I love using a laminator. So when somebody sends me something like that, I had not heard about the woman turning a hose. That could be considered assault.
Yeah.
She could be charged.
I don't see any. I tried to find an article. I didn't see it.
Woman that screamed and has turned the hose on some photographers. Now, in a public park, it's a public park, so there's no right to privacy.
Right.
However, it would be a little creepy, especially more so for dudes. If dudes were taking shots of kids, I think
Right. That's where you have the
don't
problem.
know are girls, I guess, females. That could be a little creepy. They could have a legitimate reason. You never really know. But turning a hose on somebody is a little drastic.
Yeah. Now, if you damage your equipment, now you're in trouble.
Yeah, now you're in real trouble. When I've gone to the ballpark and I am shooting for a person I'm not there just shooting little kids playing baseball or soccer or whatever. I'm shooting either my kids' teams back in the day or a friend's. Like I'm going to be shooting basketball here pretty soon.
Hmm.
I typically am only taking photos of the person I'm there to shoot, and then whatever other person gets in the shot while I'm there. But I've had somebody approach me before, hey, which one's your kid? And I'll say, oh, I'm not, none of these are my kid. I'm here with so-and-so, and I'm photographing their kid. I don't mind if they ask me, as long as they're not a jerk about it.
Right.
But I did cover up some of those chipmunk holes. Trying to push them away from the house. I got some, so I put mothballs in there, and then I got some of that expanding foam stuff.
Yeah, but they'll eat right through the. Well, there's two different. There is a type of expanding foam that will prevent animals from chewing through it.
And so I think I got that kind. What they will do, though, apparently, is dig underneath it and get back into
really?
the hole. Yeah. So it's not a total thing. I just wanted to move them away from the house a little bit.
Right.
Not dig
Find a
near
new
the
home.
foundation.
What of my neighbor?
Yeah, go somewhere else. And what else did I do? Oh, and so the house, in a couple places, one of them is it wasn't the cause of the leak, but I don't like the slope. It was one of the places we had to do when we picked up the drainage sewer. We had to put down, lay a new line. They didn't put the dirt back very well, so the slope was actually going toward the house. So I've had to put some extra dirt there to push it away. But nothing there. So you were asking in. I don't know if we probably won't go over this during the show, but you were asking what Black Friday or Cyber Monday stuff did I get?
Yeah.
And what is today? So there's Black Friday, Cyber Monday. What is today?
Today was Tuesday.
Isn't there something today?
Small Business Saturday.
I'm gonna start recording while you're thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know about this either until my wife told me. It's like Flight Tuesday or something.
Flight Tuesday. Well, because Monday is expensive to fly, so Tuesday's probably cheaper to fly.
Well, so you asked if I got anything for Black Friday, and I looked Cyber Week. Yeah. So Christina said Cyber Week, and I looked.
The question is, does everybody know what Cyber Monday really, when it started and why? Do you know what Cyber Monday is?
The only thing I can think of is Amazon did it to sell something.
No. Years ago, when internet was slow at home and everybody had dial-up, and the internet was starting to go for internet shopping, people would go to work and order everything because their internet speeds at work were much faster. So hence it got turned into Cyber Monday because you did all your online shopping from work. Now my connection probably at home is probably faster than
faster than work.
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
Christina says that today was Giving Tuesday. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know if anybody's like me. I looked because I feel like I should buy something on these special days because it's cheap. I looked and tried to find something and almost bought a new Fitbit. I guess we'll talk a little Fitbit toward the end here, Tim, at the end of the show.
Okay.
I'll mention that. We have a Fitbit update. Anyway, I looked at getting a new Fitbit Charge 3, and they had a sale. It was usually $149. They had it on for $119. And then I figured I got some big expenses coming up. I don't need to be trying to find something to spend money on. I'll just wait. And so today we did buy our plane tickets to Alaska again. So, I talked about we're going back this summer. And we're taking my two boys. So today we bought the plane tickets. They're not cheap for 4 people to fly round trip. So that would be what
Yes,
that's what I spent my Cyber Monday, Black Friday money on.
So you didn't go out on Gray Thursday?
Gray Thursday? No.
It's not Black Friday. I call it Gray Thursday because they opened up Target up by us at 5 o'clock at night. I'm like, you really do people have to go out? And granted, I was one of the ones out there.
Yeah.
But I didn't get there till a few minutes before, and there was a lot less people. There was really almost no line.
No,
I was like, maybe they'll learn and they won't do it.
No, I did not go out there. And I think Christina and Jan were out there the last show we did because you and I have missed a few shows. We still got 5 minutes here. And Tim? I think I just lost Tim. Hold on, Tim. Do I have you back?
Oh, I got you back.
Yeah.
I was just typing in. I don't know if it was you or me.
Well, it must have been me. Must have been Skype here. Because
I'm operating, so.
Hold on, your sound's coming through, but your video has frozen.
Oh yeah, look at my arm's stuck in the air.
So you know what? Hold on, it's not on your end. I'm not receiving the NDI anymore, so I'm going to have to hang up on you and call you back.
Okay.
All right, have I got you? Yep.
Okay, yep.
I got you. Now let me call the other computer. Skype just all of a sudden messed up there. What video are you receiving from me?
What do you mean? What video?
Is it it's a side by side, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the last show that AD and I did, AD gave me something at the end of the show, and it was a code for Fallout 76, the game,
Okay.
the video game
Right.
Fallout 76, and so he's been a really, really, really bad influence on me. And Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night, we stayed up till 2:30 in the morning playing the game.
Oh,
Sunday, we did quit a little early Sunday. Last night, though, and I got to get up early and go to work, so I'm dragging now. Last night, we were up to, he wanted to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I wanted to go to bed 10:30, 11, or at least start the process. It was 12:30 before we finally got off the game. So
what time do you get up in the morning?
I get up at 6.
So that's about when I get up.
I think I got like 3, almost 4 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah, that would not be good.
It's a little light for me. And then, going to, we finished playing Saturday at 2:30. And then, I don't know what, I got to bed maybe 3 and then woke up 6:37. So I'm a little light on sleep right now. But it's addicting.
That would drive me nuts.
It's addicting if you're into the gaming like that.
The only stuff I ever played on really was Xbox, my son's Xbox. But
Since the music is stopped, right? We're not getting any music. I can start
I'm
streaming.
not hearing anything.
I can start streaming to Facebook. All right. They should be getting it, but they're a little bit behind us, so we'll have to wait for them. We have all the recordings going. I can take this off the desk.
Just got to get another one up there saying reminder to put things up on the desk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking tonight, because I get down here so early, sometimes it doesn't pay off. I get down here early and things break right at the last second. But I was thinking I want to rearrange some of what's on the screens, not tonight, but at some point do that. Let me get that there. Get this here. Okay. So this, I was talking about going back to Alaska this summer. This will be both of my boys' first times ever flying.
Oh, really?
They've never flown before.
Wow.
So we're actually flying Atlanta to Chicago to Seattle.
Okay.
And then the same way coming back.
Okay. How do you get? So how are you getting to Alaska from?
So it's a round trip cruise from Seattle.
From Seattle. Okay. So I'm thinking when I went up to Alaska, I think I left. I had to go through Vancouver because I definitely didn't go through. It was Vancouver up to Ketchikan.
Yeah. So last year, the wife and the boys wanted a different ship, one that had more to offer. I like the ports better. The ship is all right. I mean, all those ships are wonderful. So last year we flew to Anchorage. We flew to Portland. I think it was Portland and Anchorage, and then a train down to Seward, and then cruised down to Vancouver. And Jan says she only flew in a helicopter. Helicopters are cool to fly in.
Yeah, I love those. I was on 2 helicopters. Once in Alaska, we landed on the one of the glaciers, and then once on our honeymoon in Hawaii. My wife was afraid, but let me tell you, it is so smooth, the helicopter.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hopefully I don't get any feedback whenever we pull up a web page. Yeah, I've been in a helicopter once, and it was really nice. So speaking of that, so I said I like the ports better. Because my boys are coming, my wife didn't want to do any of the excursions that the boys would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing 3 excursions that are going to be fun for the 3 of us. She's not going to come with us. One of them, though, is I'm going to be absolutely terrified. I have a problem with heights. And so one of them we're doing is, what's that thing that zip lining.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah. I would be tingling all over that.
We're gonna do
I would
zip
probably
lining.
do it, but yeah.
So if the boys, I won't take a video of myself doing it, but if the boys take a video of me, there may be some videos of me acting in a wimpy way. We'll see. Between now and then, though, I need to lose some weight, so uh, so I can do it in the first place. Okay, so let's get this out of here, the pre-show,
And into real show.
into real show, and get ready. You ready, Tim?
Ready, sir.
All right, this is jpeg2RAW show number 224 here at the end of November, Tim. Past Thanksgiving, past Black Friday, past Cyber Monday, but it's still Cyber Week, right?
Yes.
Do you pick up anything photo related to any of those holidays?
No, I didn't get anything photo related. No, I was pretty quiet. I looked at a couple of things. I know I wanted a photo display, but I didn't buy one. The prices were there, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So I did get a Google Home Hub, the little screen, which is kind of like the Amazon A-Word one, and so far we like it. It controls all my lights in my house. My music plays over it. So
yeah, I did not pick up anything either because I mentioned in the pre-show we're going back to Alaska this summer, so we were buying the flight here around this time, and so rather than spending on that kind of stuff, I spent it on that, which is pretty big purchase in the first place. You mentioned. I don't want to spend too much time on Black Friday and that kind of stuff, but you mentioned the Google Home Assistant and the Amazon version of that. If you don't have either of those devices, and I have the Amazon stuff, if you don't have any of those devices, man, those have really come a long way. They can do a lot, and they're integrating more and more into the house. My wife uses it a lot. We have the show, which is the screen one. You were talking about that, where you can use that for timers and for recipes and for whatever else, and then we use it for music and we use it for questions and stuff. They've really come a long way. Even controlling some of the lights, we do that with. So those two have really dominated. If you don't own one of those, there's a wide variety. And
yes,
now
there are.
We've ended up with. I had a vendor send me the Echo Dot, which is, you probably can't see it, but it's this little bitty guy I have back here. It's a little bitty puck, like a little bit bigger than a hockey puck. Send me one of those just to try and get a meeting with me, and they're not going to get the meeting, but they now I have that, and I'm thinking, where am I going to put it? I almost have one of these in every room already.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so
I have so many things. It's like, all right, where am I going to stick the next one?
Yeah, once you get them, they're pretty. Yeah, once you get them, they're kind of addictive.
But I did get the Google Home Hub, which is like the Amazon show, and I replaced my my alarm clock in my bedroom with it. And it also displays the photos that I've taken, go over it. You ask it questions. It's Google's definitely better at answering the odd questions than the Amazon version was, and that's the reason I went up with that. My kids got the show in their room, so.
Yep, and some of the things we're going to talk about later are somewhat related to this, but I don't know about the Google Home one. If they don't have it now, they probably will. But the Amazon one, now you can even do Skype calls on it.
Yeah.
So like if you have maybe your parents or somebody who's not very technical, you could gift them one of these things and have it Skype set up for them. And then Skype call to them. Now they'd have to go stand in front of that thing wherever it was if you wanted to see them.
Right.
So there's that thing, and I don't know what kind of protections there are, because if you, like for me, the call we just made now to get the Skype call, every Skype device that has my account on it goes off.
Right.
So my phone goes off, every computer goes off. If the Echo was connected to that, it would go off. So that's not maybe the best use case for somebody like me, but maybe my parents, who don't know how to do that, that would be interesting to call them and to do that with them. So, I didn't get anything either. I would like to get, but, with a lot of photography stuff, it's, you already have the cheap stuff, most of the cheap stuff, right?
Yes.
So the stuff you want is like I want is not cheap.
It's not cheap, and it's
thousands.
Yeah, I put it on my
of
wish
dollars,
list, and yeah, no, nobody's buying that
$1,500.
for my Christmas.
$1,500. So it's you wish you could buy it partial, and I don't want to recommend anybody going into debt unless you have some business plan that would allow for that. But the hobbyist like me, you shouldn't go into debt. But I will tell you this, that on some of the products on Amazon, say you're buying a lens and it costs $1,500, $2,000, there are some of them where you can do a zero interest. I think it's a 5-month payment plan where they will charge you credit card for 1/5 for every 5 months. It's you got to be careful with that you don't buy too many of them and get stuck and can't afford to pay it every month. But that can help spread that out. So if you're looking for that lens that is maybe you don't want to chunk down the $1,500 to $2,000, $1,000, whatever it is, all at once, that may be an option where you can do a 0% interest and pay it over time. And now it's only 0% if they charge you a credit card. If you don't pay off the credit card, it's no longer 0% interest. There's going to be interest on that.
It's like 20%.
Right. So you have to watch out for that. So the end of November also brings us to the end of the November photo contest, Tim. And this month is like last month, and we've been doing it for a while. It's an open theme, and we're encouraging seasonal images for this month, for November. You got 3 days left in the November to enter at the time of recording this. And then we will start the December contest, which December is the best of 2018. It's the best of the year. So the way that works is a little bit different than, I got something odd here, hold on. A little bit different than the normal contest where you can only enter 2 images that were taken during that month. The December contest, the best of, you can enter any image you took during the whole calendar year, 2018.
2018.
And any image that you entered into one of the monthly contests. So let's say you entered one image every month. You can enter each one of those 11 images plus one more.
Right.
That you took any time during the year, and you can re-edit them. Now, let's say for instance, you had an image that you go, wow, I wish I'd have edited that a little bit different, and I want to do over. You can go and re-edit it and submit that one again. You don't have to. You could just submit whatever you want. But that's a way for people who've submitted during the year to get some extra entries. You doing those same images with an extra edit if they wanted to. There's also, unlike the other months, we'll probably have a prize. Okay. We don't really have much revenue generating right now because I don't push the Amazon link in like I used to. It's still out there, but I don't push it anymore. And we'll have some kind of prize. I have to think about what that is, but some kind of photo-related prize for that. And so you have to December 31st to get that in, and then we'll have some panel of judges. It'll be our normal admin people who will narrow it down to 6 images. Those 6 images, and so let's say just to clear that up, you entered 11 images plus one more. You entered 12 images. Only one of those can make it to the final. So if the admins
only one of your specific.
So if the admins vote you as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place, you got
number one comes in.
You racked it all up and got all 6 places. Only the first one gets in. So you can't get more than one spot. So those 6 images go to the final round, and then we'll have another group of photographers outside of the admins. Although I think you and I, Tim, are still included, who will do the judging. AD will be AD Wheeler, who's my co-host on another show, will do that again this year. And I may see if I can get Walter Arnold, who's not been a guest, but I met him last night on Fallout 76 as we were playing the game together. So I may see if I can get him to be a co-host too. I mean,
it was like, wow, that's
a judge, not a co-host, a judge. So let's see those images for 2018 coming up next month, but you still have a few days left to get into this month. All right, so a few articles I want to talk about tonight, and then not a featured photographer, but a featured photos maybe. I don't know what we'll say there. So, we're talking about you were talking about, I think you brought this up, digital frames. You're looking at maybe getting digital frames. And there's this article over on F-Stoppers from Mel Martin, who was brought this idea. It's not new, but he's been thinking about it. He doesn't print that often. And Tim, how many images did you print this year?
Maybe a dozen.
Oh, you did better than me. I printed less than that. I don't print that many. And my wife
and probably half of them were this past weekend from my mother-in-law.
I don't print that many. So I know there's lots of people who are better than us who print all the time.
Right.
There's other people who don't print that often either, like just like us. And you share them on Facebook or wherever else you want.
Right.
And Jan says she wants a prize video of Tim and AD and Mike meeting for the first time live. So that's right.
That would be cool.
The three of us have never met in person. And I guess I need to come up to you guys because y'all are semi-close to each other compared to where I'm at.
Yes.
Anyway, Mel was talking about, he doesn't print that often or no, he does print, but it's very expensive. It's very expensive when he prints. You get the print itself, you got the photo frame, you get all this kind of stuff. So he was looking at buying a digital frame. And he came across this one that is a mural digital photo frame. It's a 27-inch 1080p photo frame. So it's huge.
That's pretty big.
It's huge. I'm not, this one is available over on B&H. It's like $600. It's not one that I'm interested in per se. What I'm more interested in is one that we've talked about in the past. My wife, I had one that I bought for my mother-in-law years ago. It worked great for a while. And then when she passed away, we brought it home and my wife used it. And then about 6 months ago, it died. It just wouldn't come on.
And I had the same exact brand, and mine died probably about 6 months. 6 months ago. That is so weird. I just tossed it probably about a month ago, and I unplugged it. I said, all right, maybe you know what? Yeah, unplug it for 20 minutes, plug it back in.
Oh yeah, I did all that.
It would power up, and then nothing. I was like, it was so disappointing because it was a great frame.
It was, and we're talking about the Nix. It's NIX,
right.
Yeah, NIX frame. They can be. I think that mine had Wi-Fi, and you can load it up over the internet. It had where you can plug in a card or a USB stick or something like that. You do have to decide. Like in this case, we're showing it in the the horizontal position, the landscape position. So in that case, you really would want all your images to be landscape. You can put it into the portrait position, and then you really want all your images that will be displayed portrait. It's not, to me, it doesn't necessarily replace hanging photos on a wall because, you do have to run power to these things.
Right. So unless you're going to get an electric line behind it, and that's even difficult, you don't want a wire hanging from your wall.
Yeah. So, as far as I know, none of these run off a battery, and if they did, they probably wouldn't last that long.
Yeah,
and then you'd have to change out the battery. But if you have a situation where you have a parent or even yourself, you want to have a photo, and that you can have it in a place where it doesn't matter if you run a wire, even though it's wireless for the Wi-Fi, it's still wired for the power. This is not a bad option. It's only like a little over $100, depending on which one you get. The one I'm looking at here is the 10-inch. The 10-inch widescreen.
Yeah, and that's not bad because I think I had the 8-inch. 10-inch is probably what I would want.
Yeah. Now that's the widescreen. If you go to the 15-inch, it's a little more square, so you need to get your photos to kind of fit that. I like the widescreen version, and we'll go with landscape photos. So hopefully my wife is not listening right now. This is probably one of the things that's going to be on her Christmas list that I'll get for her, because in her office she can put that there as a photo frame. If you're putting this on your desk at work, or if you have a desk at home, and maybe you have a photo right there, you could replace that with something like this.
Right.
And it's a way to get your own photos, in use rather than just being on Facebook.
Now, does this one do via Wi-Fi though?
I don't know if this one particular that I'm showing is.
Yeah, I don't think this one does, and that's why I think it's probably a little cheaper.
So you may have to pay more. I like the widescreen. Here's the 8-inch widescreen. So you got to look at what's going to be your size. I don't know if that one This one also says not Wi-Fi compatible. There are ones that are Wi-Fi compatible.
Yeah, the Nix Play is the one that has it, but it's an additional $40.
Yeah, and then there's also ones that are in different type of frame. Where this one's more like a wooden frame. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. More like a wooden frame. So you can get some that kind of look more like a regular frame. I know these are not new; they've been out there for a long time. But it's something to think about. Get your photos being used other than just on Facebook or Twitter or wherever else you're sharing them, or maybe just on your phone.
I mean, I have tens of thousands of pictures on my computer, and nobody ever sees it. And my friends always make fun of me. Yeah, you always have your camera, you take pictures, we never get to see them.
I know. Yeah, even when they come to your house, they don't get to see them.
Right.
Because when you look here, you can see this photo right here.
How old is that picture now?
You can see a little bit of it, and that's like a 20 by 30 of my son when this kid is now a sophomore in college, and that photo you can't really tell because it's so low. Maybe hold on, there you can see a little more. He is got to be like 5 or 6 there. So what does that make that like 12,
15, 16 years ago?
15, 16 years ago. And then you can't see this one in front of me is a Bluebird. I think that's a 16 by 20 or 24. I'm not sure. And those are the last times I've really printed really big. It's been a long time. So I've printed really big, that if I remember. No, I do have a couple others. So I'm horrible about printing. And something like a digital frame would help me out.
Well, I just added it to my wish list. So
there you go. Okay, Tim. You've mentioned before who you worked for, right?
UPS.
Yeah, UPS. Are they busy this time of year?
Oh, yes.
Do you guys have good delivery rates? Like prices? I mean, competitive.
Yeah.
Competitive prices.
Competitive, yes.
Is it cheaper than $10,000 a pound?
Yeah.
Because there is a shipping method that costs $10,000 a pound on the cheap end.
I can't imagine.
You don't know what that is? And it also has to be something that is worth shipping, that you'd pay $10,000 a pound for.
That's for sure.
And we know what that is. It's a Nikon camera.
Oh. Did you see the eye roll?
I did, yeah. And the sigh and everything else. So apparently, up in the space station, the International Space Station,
$10,000 a pound. Yes.
Of an International Space Station where they don't have UPS delivery. They get their Nikon cameras, because apparently that's the favorite up there. Their Nikon cameras are delivered, and it costs $10,000 a pound. So this one, I think this is a Nikon D800. Oh, no. What is that? I can't remember which camera that is. It's an 800 millimeter lens.
Jeez.
With maybe a Nikon, some Nikon, I can't remember which one. But it costs $130,000 to ship that thing there.
My God.
$130,000 to ship it there. I'm sure that other things are going along with it.
Yes. That wasn't all they shipped up there, but
that's
anything you ever read. Weight is at a premium on any space mission.
Yes.
So you're sending up 13 pounds. That's
They got to have some real... Nikon D5. There it is. Yeah. And that's apparently the flights have not gotten cheaper, because that's what NASA says the delivery was $10,000 a pound. There is now that SpaceX and a few other people are doing it. Actually, some other people say that the actual price is closer to $43,000 a pound, which would dramatically raise that $130,000 delivery fee up. There's a picture here. You can't really tell very good, but there's a whole bunch of camera equipment, all Nikon, back on the back wall behind this guy getting a haircut up in the space station. Mm-hmm. So they like their Nikon gear up there. I guess it just works better in hostile environments.
Well, whatever works. And you use what keeps working until it breaks, and then you go to something else.
Another Nikon. I had to bring that up because I know this time of year you guys are super busy, and this is one thing you guys can't deliver, but it is one thing that they're willing to pay extra to get delivered.
Well, you talk about that, and I've seen just about everything get shipped through UPS. Literally everything has been shipped through UPS. And I remember walking through a building once, and I saw a tub A tub came through UPS and it came next day air, so overnight delivery
Wow.
from Florida. And I had to look up how much it cost to ship, and I forgot the number now, but it was something like $900. I'm like,
Wow.
who the heck is going to spend $900 to ship a tub from Florida to New York overnight?
They must really
And then
need a bath.
it got to the job site and didn't get installed that day either.
Yeah. They did not install it that day. Christina out in chat says it'll be cheaper to send it back since it won't weigh that much.
There you go. Yes. I
Yep.
like that.
I do too.
And they don't have to worry about film anymore.
Yeah. No, they don't. They don't. All right. That was funny, and I thought a timely thing.
Space. They cut in space. Oh,
They cut in space. So here's another one that I talk about quite often. We're going to get to the part that I talk about often, but there's a man who is suing Adobe over a Premiere Pro bug that happened back in 2017. And the bug that he's claiming is that it ate all his video files. Premiere Pro is Adobe's video editing software that whenever they updated it, it had a bug in it that when you went to clear your cache, your cache for Adobe Premiere, it sometimes would delete things that were not part of your cache. In this case, he claims, it deleted over 500 hours of video he took between 2010 and 2017, somewhere that says that, yeah. 2010 and 2017, over 500 hours of footage that he had stored on one external drive attached to his computer. And that's the only place he had it, was on that one external drive that was attached to his computer. And so he's suing them, wanting $5 million and wanting it to be a class action lawsuit and get a jury trial and all that kind of stuff. You could see, I'd be interested to see what happens with this. I bet you Adobe settles for something
out of court that you won't hear about.
If he is willing to be reasonable, because when you get in front of a jury, you have no idea what's going to happen. If you have a jury member on there who has had any kind of computer problem, which is everybody, you might be able to convince them that we need to make these guys pay. This guy here doesn't deserve this money, but these guys over here deserve to pay something.
Right.
So we have nobody else to give it to. So you could see something like that happening. There's been crazy things happen when you go to jury trial. So often corporations don't want to go to a jury trial. And so we have to watch this one and see. The photographer's name is David Keith from Maryland. David Keith Cooper from Maryland. He claims to be a professional photographer. I've never heard of him, so maybe he is. He doesn't have any backups. He didn't back up anything.
You can't be that good of a photographer then.
Yeah, so that
professional.
Yeah, that makes you think right there. So, yeah, exactly. Because if you're being paid to do work for somebody else, you can't blame this problem on Adobe. You can fuss at Adobe, be mad at Adobe.
Because sooner or later, that drive may have failed on its own. What are you going to do? Sue the drive manufacturer then?
Exactly. And if you read Adobe's terms of service, which none of us do, but if you do, it says in there that they're not responsible for those kind of things.
Nope, not responsible for your data.
Yeah, so because what they're saying is, look, you may say, well, wait a second, they can't delete your files and claim not to be responsible. What they're saying is you're responsible for having proper backups. And so if in the event that our software messes up and deletes your photo, your stuff, then sorry, go get it from your backup and you're back in business. Report the bug and we'll fix it. What they're saying is we can't be responsible for the fact that you weren't responsible for backing up.
Right.
And
now what the key to this is he wants a class action suit because... And that's all it is.
Yeah,
and it's in California, so go figure.
Yeah, and talking about drives that'll fail, I had one 2 nights ago, not last night, night before. No, last night. Failed on me and my server, so I'm down one drive, and this is a case where I didn't have a spare ready, so I've had to order one and thought it was getting here today and would get here tomorrow, and slip it in there before anything goes wrong. Those drives will fail. And in my server situation, I won't go into here, but it can handle a drive failure and still be going. but you need to replace those. You got to back those up, and not just to a server in your house, but to some offsite location or another computer. Right?
Yeah, I hope he doesn't win.
I hope he doesn't
either. It sets bad precedents.
Because we've talked about before, you can have a natural disaster, you can have a fire, you can have a theft, you can have, just your hard drives die. And in here, you could have an errant program, Windows, Mac, some software you load that messes something up and you lose files. Mm-hmm. And your only way to recover is to go back to backup. You could get a crypto virus.
Right. Exactly.
If you get a crypto virus, and we've had it hit twice in the office, and we caught it before it went too far. If you get a crypto virus, you have one of two choices. One of them is getting to be a lower and lower probability that it'll work, and that is to pay the ransom. Right. It used to be back in the day when they started, you pay the ransom, it worked, and you got the key, and you could unlock your stuff. Now, more often than not, you pay the ransom, you still don't get it unlocked. So really the only reliable way to recover from crypto is to restore from backup.
Yep, and that's why you have an offsite backup and you have that local backup, because a local backup will get you up and running quickly.
Yep. All right. So last thing I had up here before we go into the end is this is a big news story that we haven't talked about yet. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it because I know you use this service. You used to use it a lot. And that is, where is this?
Flickr.
Flickr. This is Flickr. Yeah. And what this article is saying, always, always, always download your photos. I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know what that...
Because you had to upload them in the first place to get them there.
Yeah. I mean, I hope you're not uploading them and deleting them.
Yes. But didn't you at one point mention that Flickr was kind of your...
it was like my offsite backup.
Your offsite backup. Because back in the day, these guys were owned by Yahoo.
Right, and they had full resolution.
Yeah, and Yahoo has a way of taking any good product and totally destroying
it.
They will find any valuable resource and just completely kill it. And that's what they were doing to Flickr. They bought Flickr, and then they were finding every way they could to kill it. But one of the things they did in their effort to try and save it is they gave a free 1 terabyte of storage. Mm-hmm. And they have a incredible amount of photos there. It's in the billions, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I forget how many, I think 100 million accounts, something like that. It's just amazing. So do you still actively use Flickr?
I haven't uploaded anything to Flickr in, God, I can't remember. So,
okay.
And I still have a pro account there, but
so you had a pro account. I'm wondering,
and I still have it.
Okay, I'd like to hear from anybody else if you use Flickr, if you had a pro account or don't have a pro account. I wish AD was. We have him on a show because he has strong opinions about this. What's going on with Flickr right now? I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be on the same side as him, so it might be interesting for us to talk about it. But how much was the pro account that you were paying for?
Well, I'm reading it now. It says $49.99 per year.
Is that what you were paying, or is it?
I don't
know that's
think
the new
was,
price.
Yeah, no, that's the new. I want to say it was like 25 for 2 years.
2 years, okay.
It definitely wasn't for 1 year, and I'm gonna go into my Quicken account and see if I could find how much I paid the last time for it.
So what they were doing was giving you free 1 terabyte of storage that you could load up as many different photos or videos as you want, I guess, until you hit the 1 terabyte limit, right?
Right.
And
I'm nowhere near that.
1 terabyte is quite a bit. It depending on if you're uploading videos, you can chew it up pretty good. But if you're uploading photos, and even if you're doing JPEGs, I mean, 1 terabyte is a lot. You're going to put a lot of photos on there. But there's a problem with a business model that is free. You've probably heard the term, if you're not paying for the service, you are the product. Something like that.
Yes. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and Mark over on Facebook says, just recently signed up. I can't see the whole thing. What's happening here? I need to make that a little bigger. Sorry, Mark. There we go. Just signed up recently on the pro account myself to save my 16,000 photos. So that's a good point. that Mark's making. So what's happening is the free is going away, and I'm always worried about a service that is free, because that's a bad business model. It's eventually that free service is going to go away.
It catches up with you.
It's going to go away. You know, I know that sometimes we want to think we can live in utopia and everything just be free, but it doesn't work that way. People like to make money. Everybody listening to this probably likes to make money.
And even if you don't have to make money to provide the services,
Yeah.
think about how much server racks they have to have, the cooling and everything.
Exactly.
That isn't free itself. Nobody's giving that away free.
I just mentioned a hard drive of mine died. Compared to the service that these guys are running, my thing is minuscule. I have, I think, 58 terabyte of storage now, and a drive is going to fail probably once a year. So I'm going to lose a drive, and I got to replace them. There's a cost to that. There's a cost to power that. And imagine on these guys' scale, it's huge. So they can no longer offer the free 1 terabyte of unlimited. So what they're doing is they're going to, if you're not a pro, you're maxed out at 1,000 images. 1,000 images and videos, I believe. So I don't know what they're doing with the size, but 1,000 images or videos. Come January, what is that? January 8th or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and find it. Watch next. Nope. I missed it. Where did they say that? Anyway, January 8th, that's right. On January 8th, if you're over the 1,000 limit, you're locked out of uploading any more photos. Come February 5th, if you're still over the 1,000 limit, then they will start deleting photos from the oldest and moving forward. So if you are over the 1,000, if you're like Mark over on Facebook and you have 16,000 plus photos,
Yeah.
you have a choice. Download 15,000 of them, which is going to be a tough choice.
Yes.
Or pay the pro account. And the pro account is what, $49.95, $49.99
Right.
a year.
Yeah, and I just found it on my thing. I paid $44.95 for 2 years of service.
So more than double the price.
Yeah, more than double. However, the good thing for me is the last time I paid $44.95 was apparently August of 2018. So I have 2 years. I assume I have 2 years. I'm going to have to look at what it says on there. But
if you went there, expecting a free service and now you got to pay, that does suck. I get that. It's, I can't say much about that. You lost your free service. But $50 a year for Mark, I don't know how he feels, but for $50 a year to hold 16,000 photos is not a bad deal. You're actually getting a decent deal. They were bought recently by SmugMug, and I'm sure SmugMug, when they bought them, already knew they were going to get to this point fairly quickly. You don't buy a service. I imagine the service was losing tons of money for Yahoo, like everything Yahoo touched, and they probably bought it thinking we can convert this and make some money from it. Now, you do run the risk of killing the service and getting a bunch of people to leave and not doing it. But, if you make some improvements and you can stabilize it, one of the issues they had was it was run on Yahoo servers. Mm-hmm. And the Yahoo servers are probably not keeping up with their competition. So they're moving the entire service off of Yahoo and on to Amazon Web Services. We talked about Cyber Monday and Black Friday and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people forget that Amazon is the biggest cloud in the world. Amazon runs Amazon Web Services, AWS, and I believe even services like Netflix run off of Amazon Web Services. They are the king in that, although Microsoft is starting to challenge them, and Google's a distant third. But they're just incredibly massive. So moving Flickr off of Yahoo servers and on to AWS will probably provide stability, better uptime, and maybe even faster response. It gives them more options to grow the service in the future, but you got to pay for that. Amazon does not offer that for free. There's a charge for disk space and for bandwidth that they'll have to pay for that.
Well, and looking at you get 15% off of Adobe's Creative Cloud through this, so that would save you money right there. $35 off photo books through Blurb. 4 times a year. So reality, if you use some of this, the coupons, and in essence, you'd actually make that money back for the $50 a year that you're paying in a pro whatever you want to call it.
Now with 16,000 photos, Mark must be an active member over there. I'd be interested to know from Mark if you're still out there. Are you using this from a pro perspective or just a sharing, perspective? More like talking with other photographers on Flickr versus Facebook or something like that. How are you using it, and how do you feel about paying for the pro account? For me, I'm not a big Flickr user, and so for me, who's not a big Flickr user, I still get the free account for under 1,000 photos, so I'm actually okay. It's probably those people who are like the 2,000, or in Mark's case, he's trapped 16,000. He's got to do a pro account if he wasn't already.
Well, I'm trying to see how many pictures I have uploaded in here. It does tell me that I have 780,000 views.
Wow.
How many
780,000 views? That's pretty good.
Yeah. 28 gigs of storage of my unlimited use is in here, but it doesn't tell me how many photos I have.
Okay, so 28 gig, they gave you before this 1 terabyte. I was just using a piddle amount.
Yeah.
You had lots of room left.
Yeah.
It also, sharing with the high school, I take photos for those kids and their parents. Yeah, so there you go. He's getting probably tons of views and lots of use there.
Right.
Especially, I don't know what kind of photos, but if you're taking sports photos or event photos or something like that, you can rack up quite a few photos. If you were using this, or you're using your 1 terabyte as online backup, and you weren't paying for it, you got to think that's not the best use, the best way to do a backup. I think you need to have a service. Mark says sports. You need to have a service where you're paying for and
absolutely
and doing that. For a while, I think it was less than a year, Amazon actually said if you're an Amazon Prime user, you get unlimited photos, and they also said something else. I forget what it was. You paid a smaller amount and you got like unlimited files or something like that. I can't remember what it was. So I took them up on that and I loaded up, I think 5 terabyte of stuff I uploaded to Amazon. And then they must have decided that's not going to work out and they killed that plan. So, you hear about the cloud, and somebody was asking, one of the executives where I work were asking me, where is the cloud? What is the cloud? And I said, look, the best thing you need to remember about the cloud is it's just somebody else's computer. There's no magical, fairyland of clouds. It is someone else's computer that they're paying for the maintenance and the upkeep and the replacement and the power and the internet and everything else. They're paying for all that. So if you're getting it for free, they're either doing something with your data that you may not like, or they're not going to be around for very long.
Right. Now, where do you want? I back up. I tried the Amazon backup. I had a lot of issues trying to back up, even though I'm a Prime member. It says I'm full after I reached 2 gigabytes. So I stopped using. I gave up trying it. I was using Flickr, and now I use Google Photos because it uploads the full resolution photos anyway for me.
Yeah.
So that's one of my places, and I wind up having pictures everywhere. And I don't like having them everywhere. I think that's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a hard drive that I bring over to my in-laws' house once a year. I recycle out my current year photos and just keep adding to that one, bring the other one back, and update the new one.
Jan says, do I pay for extra photo service or buy groceries this week? And that's the case. If you are where the $50 is a big deal, that for because. You might say $50, how big of a deal is that? But, all these things add up. It's not just the $50. It's everybody wants some of your money. And it just may be the straw that broke the camel's back. So you got to decide, hey, do I want to do that or do something else? So it's all different. It's all relative to whatever your situation is. Ronald says Crash Plan Pro for FTW. I don't know what FTW. What is FTW? If you're wondering where I'm getting these comments from, for what it's worth, yeah. If you're wondering where I'm getting these comments from, you listen to the recorded version. We stream live to YouTube and to Facebook, and there's people out for the win. Yeah, that's what you're saying. There's people
For
out
the win, right.
There's people out on both. I left CrashPlan, and I went to Backblaze because of what they did to the CrashPlan home users. And I went to Backblaze.
Wow.
I've been happy with that so far. But find some service like that. That you're comfortable with. CrashPlan Pro is what you can use that. Backblaze, what do you call it? Carbonite. And in this article, another article about Flickr, I wanted to point out that they mentioned things like, you can also, Google has some storage where you can do that. If you get to a certain limit, you have to pay for it. And Amazon has some that you can do. I think if you're a Prime member, you can, there's a certain amount of photos you can do, maybe unlimited JPEGs. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but you can do some stuff like that. And then they mentioned something like Dropbox, where Dropbox is a cloud service that may feel like it's on a folder on your computer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's this article or another one I was reading. Dropbox is actually a folder on your computer with a middleman in between. So if you have a computer at home and a computer at work, those files are literally on both hard drives, at home and at work.
Right.
And so it is not like a folder on your computer. It is a folder on your computer with one exception. This is why it's not a backup. If you delete, depending on your settings, if you delete a folder, a file from your home computer,
it'll delete from both.
It'll delete from everywhere you have it syncing from.
Right. If the hard drive crashes, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
But if you delete it, right.
Yeah. They do have some versioning, so you can go back and get that, but that's not truly a way to do backup. For me, though, like I was saying, I'm not going to pay the $50 because I don't use it heavily enough like that. Although you getting almost 800,000 views on your photos, that's pretty darn good.
And every once in a while, I get an email notification of a photo that's been favorited, and I'm like, and I forgot one of the pictures that I had on here. I wonder if it still shows me my all-time views. It's the German American Parade, New York City, 4,000 views on one picture, and I have multiple like that. Used to be my son with Alice in Wonderland down in Disney. It's got 2,300 views, and I'm like, really?
So we got a comment in chat that says, "Who's the cute guy calling in the blue shirt?" And I'm not wearing a blue shirt, so we know who they're talking about. Tim. This person said, "Who's the cute guy in the blue shirt?"
It's got to be on Facebook where you're reading that one from.
Yep, it's on Facebook.
Okay.
So you got somebody out. You got a fan out there. I'm not going to tell you who it is, though. Don't look.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in the post show. He may know this person. All right, so that was the last article. I did want to go into, instead of a photographer of the week or feature photographer, that's what we call it. I want to talk about this one website. Oh, you just went to Facebook. You cheated.
Of course I did.
There was his wife. I think she's biased.
Yes, probably.
All right. So instead of a feature photographer this week, I'm going to show this one website. We talked recently in one of the photo review shows. I think Norman has submitted some bird photos, and some other people have submitted some wildlife photos. I like taking wildlife photos too, and some of the wildlife photographers I've seen are just, they spend a lot. They do a lot of work to get these great photos, and it's not easy work. So, but for somebody like me who wants to take better, it's inspiring to see what some of these other people do. There's a website out here called the comedywildlifephoto.com, and they have just released their 2018 winners, and it's of cute or slightly funny wildlife related photos from a bunch of different people. So I'm going to just go through a few of the winners this year. This one is a squirrel, and it's from Alex Walker, and the title is "Caught in the Act." And who doesn't have? I mean, the squirrels all over my backyard. So I'm sure I don't know. Alex probably takes tons of photos of squirrels, and happened to get this one of the squirrel that looks like it's caught in the act.
Red-handed.
Caught red-handed. Got his hands out.
Yes, you
and
got me.
And his mouth wide open. Really, really awesome.
Stop.
This one of a shark that almost like it's smiling right before it goes and eats you. Bird. I don't know if that's actually from the bird or that's gum that was already there. An owl there. This owl kind of peeking up over the top. There's some awesome photos there. Mama, I'm assuming that's a mama bear with the 3 cubs.
Rubs in the tree.
Up in the tree. And I've seen this one before. This one is a polar bear from, what's that, Raleigh? I can't see the name. Anyway, a polar bear looking through you got a camera on a tripod, and the polar bear came up and looks like it's actually looking through the lens.
Viewfinder, right?
The viewfinder. Hopefully it did not break that, because I'm just one swipe of that paw, and that thing is destroyed.
Yeah, oh man, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh my God. Now I wonder if he's really that close to it, or if like there's a telephoto lens in the way
he's compressed it a little bit, makes it look like it's closer.
I wonder if I assume he is there, but.
What happens? I'm sure the polar bear is not trying to get a view through the thing. Is a telephoto lens. Let me look for some prey. More likely, it's going to see something odd and going to go up and smell it.
Yeah, go investigate it.
Yeah, but it's still a cute shot. And then 2 bear cubs. Look like
now that's a
dancing.
cute shot.
Looks like they're dancing.
Rough day at work.
Yeah, this one looks like he has a rough day at work. One moose sticking his tongue out at the other one. I love this one. The brown bear who's leaning against a sign that says, "Remember, stop for buses. Turn on headlights." Like he's giving a community message. And here's 2 monkeys. One of them is like he's kicking the other one. Jump kicking. And then 2, what is that, iguanas? What are they?
Or are those
those lizards?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, lizards.
Yeah,
whatever they're called.
I can't remember what they're called, but they look like they're
the dragons.
Look like they're slow dancing.
Kimono dragons.
Almost look like they're slow dancing. And then here's a rhinoceros that looks like...
This rhino's got a peacock feathers behind him.
Yeah, it looks like he's wearing some kind of tutu or something.
It looks like something that would have been on one of the Disney Follies.
Yeah.
Now that's a cool shot.
That's a cool shot with the squirrel kind of... He's got himself stuck between two flowers that look like they're slowly separating themselves, and he's trying to stay. It's almost like when you go. You've seen this in some kind of comedy shows where a person goes to step on the boat, and the boat starts to leave, and they have 1 foot on the dock, 1 foot on the boat. As the boat kind of separates. Then we're back to that, and I want to show a couple of the honorable mentions, the finalists, because there were some good ones here. Like this one from Sarah Devlin. 2 polar bears dancing. They don't have a name attached to that one. Oh, Lucia. We've seen that one. That one. Let's go back to the main list. But anyway, check this. Oh, that's a cute one. Check comedywildlifephoto.com out. Lots of good photos, and it's got multiple years here going back where you can look at that. They're a wildlife conservation site. Their title, their little tagline is "Conservation through Competition."
I'm looking at the one with the it's got to be some sort of deer with staring directly at the camera. A little further down, I think. Yeah.
Must have been a mid-chew or something. It gives it that weird look. Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good. Lots of good ones here. And I've looked back at some of the other years, and they're pretty good, too. I love polar bears. Anyway, check them out and enjoy a few photos. I don't know if they... what else they do besides competitions, but, you can go there and check it out. Speaking of checking things out, if you're not already a subscriber, go over to jpeg2RAW.com/subscribe, and there you can get us on, from audio, you can get on iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, and now Spotify. And we have the list of people subscribing from Spotify growing like every other day, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to start putting out more shows.
Yes. We were a little lax recently.
We were a little lax. And if you want the video format, which of course is what I recommend, we're on iTunes, Video Large and Small, YouTube, Vimeo, and Podbean over there. And speaking of, yeah, we have been, we've missed a few weeks. We're probably going to miss some more time between now and the end of the year. But starting next year, we're going to get some guests back on the show. If you're new to the show, I don't know how long Jan's been with the show. You probably think all we ever do is talk about news on this show. But the history of the show has mainly been about interviews. Tim and I interview different photographers. Ron, who's out in chat right now, has been a guest on the show before, and a number of other people. So we're going to mix that back in 2019 and get some more guests. We'll still do some of these, but we'll get more guests back on the show starting in 2019. And I have a few already that we're working on, so be looking for that. So, hang out for a little bit in the post show. And let me mention this before we go, because we talked about this before we even went live where people saw us. But the Fitbit challenge between Tim and I is over. There's no more challenge
love
between us because Tim has left the Fitbit universe.
He went with a Galaxy smartwatch.
And there's no cross thing happening.
No, too bad. And I liked my I've had a Fitbit for quite a few years, but the battery just started fritzing out in me, and I wasn't going to spend the amount of money that I've been spending on that. So
yeah, but I am still using my Fitbit, and when this one dies, I plan to get another Fitbit. So look for me out there. I have not been doing good lately. With the colder weather, I've not transitioned, and now A.D. Wheeler, my co-host on the other jpeg2RAW show, has corrupted me and has me playing video games until late at night that I'm willingly doing. So all those things have conspired against me getting my steps in. So, I saw Michael, what was his name? One of the from the jpeg2RAW audience that is a Fitbit friend of mine was out there, and he's been trying to encourage me to get me going more, and so far it's not working. But keep it up. I will get there, and I got to lose. I really want to lose, Tim, 30 pounds before the cruise, so I can do some of the things I want to do. So I got some work to do, and I'll get back at it. So look for Mike H, I think is what I'm out there. If you have a question, if you can't find me on Fitbit and you want to be a Fitbit friend, email me at podcast@jpeg2RAW.com, and I will help you out with that.
Right.
So we'd love to have you, out there in the Fitbit family if you're there. If you're on, I don't know what you got going on with yours, Tim, but maybe they can do something there. I'm not going over that way. Those are good watches, but I'm going to stick with Fitbit for now. Yep. All right. So hang out for a little bit of post show, and then we'll see you maybe next week. Good night, everybody. Keep it raw.
Good night.
All right. So Christina, let's see. Post show. There we go. Christina says, I've been slacking on steps. However, I started a keto diet. So kind of shut off. I have heard, so I don't know who that person is, but they say, doesn't Tim have two wrists? Yeah, come on, Tim. You got two wrists.
Yeah, that
just move one over to the other wrist.
I wish they had like the one that would fit on my belt, and I can use that.
They
and
do.
I would probably. I got to look at that because I might get that just to stay with the Fitbit, because I have a lot of stats with Fitbit over the years. So
yeah,
I'm gonna.
So one of the things I do, and this is where my geek comes in. But before I go to that, Christina's talked about the keto diet. I've heard people who lose tons of weight on that. I'm not ready to go to that. But I know some people who have lost a lot of weight on that, so it can be very beneficial. What I have tried to do, and so far I've lost 63 pounds, but I've kind of hit a wall here for the last few months. I've tried to make changes I think I can live with. It's like instead of going cold turkey and just cutting out all of a certain type of eating, trying to change a little bit of my eating habits into something I can live with and continue to do it. But at some point, if I can't move from the spot I'm at, I'm going to have to change something. So that's whatever. So anyway, what I do, one of the geeky things I do at my Fitbit, and I have the Fitbit Charge 2, and I have the Fitbit Scale, the Wi-Fi Scale. And
Right, the ARIA.
Yeah, I have both of these hooked up to the service. They're connected to the service, If This Then That. If you ever heard of that, it's IFTT, I think is what it is. Look for that. And so what both of those do is they record the activity into a Google spreadsheet automatically. It happens every day. I don't have to do anything. So I have probably 4 years now of all the stats from this every single day going into a Google spreadsheet. Every time I get on a scale, which is almost every day, going into a spreadsheet. And then I actually have some formulas off to the right of that I do have to copy down. It won't automatically fill those in, but I copy those down. So I have a lot of data. So I'm invested in this. And I guess if this then that eventually goes out of service because I'm not paying for it, there you go, the service I'm not paying for, I would lose any future updates for that. But I would pay something for it. Not a lot. I wouldn't pay $50 a year, though.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. I don't know what they need to make it work.
Oh, I could use the Fitbit Flex 2.
Christina says, I may or may not be crazy about fitness. It's my other hobby. Yeah.
My other hobby.
She does. I do cross of it fits your macros. I don't know what she's saying there. You know who's crazy about fitness? Rachel Brinke. If anybody here knows Rachel Brinke. Rachel Brinke, who at one point was the person we had on the show more than anybody else. I think she hit 4 or 5 appearances on the show back in the early days, if you remember that. Mm-hmm. She's grown way. She's done amazing. We knew she'd do amazing things. Because at the time, she was having like her 4th or 5th child, had just passed the bar exam at the same time as having all these young children, which is just amazing. Now she's a triathlete.
Mm-hmm.
So marathon, swimming, and biking. She's done the triathlete thing. Just
she can keep that.
Yeah,
not a chance.
You know, she's an incredible person. Very, very driven. She's a nut for fitness and is driven in everything she does. If it fits your macros, that's a dieting way of thinking. Oh, it's another dieting way of thinking. More bodybuilder type. Yeah. So underneath all this fat, I am ripped.
That's what I always say. This cost me a lot of money to get this.
Yeah.
And this is the time of the year that doesn't help me. My steps have definitely come down over the past couple of weeks. And I eat more because of all the holidays that are coming. This is just a horrible time. It
is a horrible time. So I got to somehow make it through this time without putting on any pounds. And we have me and 2 other guys have a weight loss challenge that ends December 31st, and it was to lose 10 pounds. And right now, all 3 of us are in plus territory. I'm plus.
Yeah, that's not good.
I think I'm plus 1.1, and I'm in the lead.
Oh my God!
So we have a little bit more than a month, and in between we have Christmas. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge to get there. So it is once you reach it, you're in. So it's not like the way ends December 31st. As long as you can get there before then. All right.
Now you got me looking at another Fitbit. Thanks.
There you go. Come on, Tim. You should. Yeah, it's Cyber Week. I'm sure there's still a good sale on there.
For $50, the Flex 2 might be what I need. I just got to read about it now to make sure it is correct. So, and it says you can keep it on a pendant. Remove tracker fits in bands, bangles, and pendants.
It's like hanging it from your.
You can hang it from your neck, but I'm not going to wear it there.
Yeah.
But if I could have something where I could like attach it to my belt, they used to sell something like that, and they don't have it anymore on their site. But this may be
one of the guys at work wears his Fitbit around his ankle. Now mine definitely would not fit on my ankle.
Right, mine wouldn't fit either.
I don't know if they probably don't have a big enough band to fit around my ankle.
Yeah,
but somehow he fits his around his ankle. And I'm not sure if it's as accurate step counting when you do it that way or not.
Now, I wonder what the accessories are. Maybe that if they had like an accessory of like for my.
I've not heard. Jan says some people say that radiation concerns on fitness trackers. I've not heard that before. I have,
I'm not worried about that.
both of my boys had that with the first Fitbit, that problem where it like turned green or something like that. They had issues with it. I have not had any issues with this one.
Yeah. I think my biggest problem with the my biggest problem has always been with the Fitbit. Why do they have a different charger for every Fitbit that's come out?
Yeah, I know. Come up with one freaking design.
Yeah. And nobody's ever called them out on that. I've never seen that written anywhere, but that annoys me so much.
Yeah. Because right now, my wife and I have 2 different generations of Fitbit using 2 different chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So we, anywhere you go, you got to bring both chargers.
Right. I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to keep my Fitbit. Oh, the Fitbit Zip activity tracker. That's the one I want, I think.
All right.
That would go on my belt. There you go. Clips, this drives calories burned. Oh, maybe that's what I get. Then I could stay in the Fitbit community and be happy.
There you go. Let's go look at the Fitbit. So which one are you looking at?
It's called the Fitbit Zip. I found it in accessories.
Accessories.
Yeah, that of all places, it wasn't under products. It was under accessories, and it's the last thing.
Where's accessories?
Accessories. I mean, it was on the top in the. Go into products first, I guess.
I think products. Okay.
Click on the products.
Does it go anywhere?
It doesn't look like it brought you anywhere.
Oh,
So
there it is.
I
I see it right there. Zip.
Yeah, the Zip.
Yeah, I have the Aria 1, the first generation scale.
I wound up getting this number 2 because my first one died. It would no longer connect to my internet, so I said, "All right, I'll get the." I like that. That's the first thing I do every morning.
Yeah, me too.
But if I can use this, yeah, exactly. If I can use the Zip, that would be perfect.
Where was she putting that thing? In her bra?
Yeah, that's where they wear them too. I don't think I can do that.
Does that be your ad?
Yeah.
So I got to wear a bra now?
Better you than me.
Yeah, I don't want to wear a bra. Is there any other place I can put it besides my bra?
Yeah, your waistband.
Well, they don't show me that. They show
that's what they should. Oh, they showed it on. When you go to the Fitbit Zip activity tracker, it shows that's where she places it on. Actually, I don't know if it's her pocket or whatever, but
can you just stick it in your pocket?
Probably could put it in your pocket too.
Yeah. Bra. Christina says bras, the other pocket. Unless you don't wear a bra.
Yeah, really.
Like me.
Wow, actually, the Fitbit Zip on Amazon is between $80 and $100.
That's not bad. I wonder if my wife would rather that.
But here it's $59 in stock at Fitbit, so it's probably on sale.
Yeah, I wonder if my wife would rather have that one. Not that she would put it in a bra, but if you could just put it in your pocket. I wish they showed like all the places you can stick this thing, but reasonable place. Here we go. Here we go. All right, you can hang it right there. You can put it on your belt buckle like that. That's good. Your pants. Yeah. So you can stick it on your pants.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
I wonder what's the difference between sticking it like that on the outside of your pants and just sticking it in your pocket.
I don't know. Yeah. But then at least they could stay in the community. Because I want to stay because it's...
Okay, hold on. Mark is giving us this... Mark, do you mind if we show your thing here live?
Oh, and this one's got a battery that lasts 6 months.
What? The one we just looked at?
Yeah, the battery lasts 6 months. There's no charger.
Wow.
And it's one of those 3-volt coin batteries. Does this automatically? Features, all-day tracking, wireless syncing. I'm buying it right now because thanks, Mike. This is all your fault. Check out.
How do I find somebody on Flickr when they give us?
Are you done?
What was that? Nope. Let's see. What is he saying? That one. Oh, yeah. If you accidentally leave it in your pocket and send it to the washer.
Oops.
All right. I think Mark maybe head out. Thanks, Mark, for coming by. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. And I need to find Mark's photos out on Flickr. Jan, Christina, Ronald, and there's that lady who said you were cute. What's up with that?
There's that lady that said you were cute.
Yeah, she's got a pizza bagel.
My son's having pizza bagels now at this hour. He just got back from SAT prep.
Oh, okay.
He has the SAT this weekend.
Okay. And we had a new person. I think this is a new person. Live Aveen? Live Aveen? I'm saying your name wrong. Sorry. And anybody else I missed, thanks for coming out. I'll go ahead and end live stream. We'll see y'all later. I think this Sunday, AD and I are doing a photo review show. I can pull them away from the video game. So maybe we'll see you this Sunday.
I just don't have time. Right? Good night, everybody.
Good night.